Very nice to meet you. My name is Lee Hye-jin. The light is too strong. Our audience, you are all Korean. Why have I made this slide in English? So I was asked how much hydrogen economy has been facilitated with what level of investment. So all of you are from the electricity market. I think you want to know what's happening regarding hydrogen economy. So these are the main policies of advanced countries that I'm going to cover from the first part, and then I will move on to incentive mechanism. Firstly, look at the U.S. policy development. The DOE announced Energy Earthshot Initiative in 2021 with hydrogen policies. They are quite ambitious. They want to make the cost of clean hydrogen to $1 per kilogram in 1 decade. I was quite surprised by this. They are making continuous effort with their policies, and this summer from last year, they decided to announce their strategy and roadmap for a larger amount of clean hydrogen. So now the clean hydrogen in Korea, in the US, produced is about 10 million metric ton right now. It's quite important for decarbonization in the US, so they want to achieve 20 million by 2040 and 50 million by 2050 for clean hydrogen. So if you look at the bottom, you will see different sector, its willingness to pay acceptable price as suggested by sector, how much demand there will be in each sector, base case and high demand scenarios were used to show the range. As you all know, if you look at the hydrogen price for now in Korea, it's about 120,000 won in Korea, but if you want to go to 500 kilometers, it will cost about 50,000 won for charging. So although we have increased the price, it's still acceptable. For that reason, if you compare with oil, hydrogen can be produced at $4. Although the oil is much cheaper in the US, this price is still acceptable. So large-scale and mid-scale vehicles show the highest hydrogen price. For biofuels, power to liquid sector is the next. Jet fuel, airline price can be the area that we can apply this. And we have steel, ammonia, power sector, methane, heat, and you can also see additional demand in new markets. So this goal, 10 million by 2030, includes existing demand and new demand. And for the electric sector, you can see on the right side, certain area is from 4 to 8, and for high demand scenario, more than 10 million tons will be needed. And when it comes to the infrastructure, a new act was passed in 2023. The US said they are going to establish clean hydrogen hubs. So from last year, by 2026, about $8 billion will be supported. So this is the goal of the U.S. policy, and in the coming fall, they will select among the final candidates to decide the sites. And for production and infrastructure, if they are going to support them, the acceptable prices are low in some sectors. So to support demand, they are also going to invest up to $1 billion in a demand-side initiative. And for the EU case, renewables are quite dominant in the EU, and now they are trying to achieve energy transition. With the war in Ukraine, the EU has actually changed their stance quite a lot. So with Repower EU plan, the EU is focusing on hydrogen to replace the energy from Russia. So hydrogen will take more roles in the EU, and they have increased their targets. They will increase the demand to 20 million tons by 2030. Half will be produced in the EU, half will be imported from other countries. So when it comes to electrolyzer, they are trying to increase the capabilities with their initiative. It is called Electrolyzer Summit Declaration for technologies in Germany and Norway, although it's not a EU member. They are trying to apply many technologies, and the industry and transport were important for hydrogen, so they are pursuing a large-scale support project like IPCEI. This is for the common interest of EU member countries, which includes high-to-tech and high-to-use. These are approved projects by the EC. They are going to support 5.4 billion euros and 5.2 billion euros respectively. And with Innovation Fund in 2022 and 2023, they are going to invest more than 1.5 billion euros in many projects. And Germany has a quite strong steel, but renewable is dominant in Germany, so they are focusing on green hydrogen. And when it comes to utilizing and producing hydrogen, Germany has a quite developed technology. As you can see, Siemens OEM companies, they are a German company, and ThyssenKrupp is also one of the strongest players. For the first time, ThyssenKrupps are going to participate in a large-scale project. So the German government is trying to push up their targets by 2030. For example, they are going to increase their electrolyzer capacity to 10 gigawatt by 2030. And for total demand, it will increase from 90 to 130 terawatt. So it's about 4 to 5 million tons, and 50% will be imported, and 50 to 70% will be imported, and the remaining part will be produced domestically. And they try to make a mechanism for and they actually run the first round, but with more hydrogen demand, they realized that they can not only use green hydrogen, so they are now trying to use natural gas for blue hydrogen or turquoise hydrogen. This is something that is newly commented in a report. And they are also trying to improve for hydrogen-fired power. So they will have tenders up to 23.8 gigawatts of hydrogen-fired power plants by 2035, and they are talking about some subsidies for that, which have been quite materialized. And for support, the support for the industry, circles and TISAN groups are participating in circles and TKH2 steel projects. So Germany is going to invest 1 billion and 2 billion euros into these two projects respectively. And they have already reserved about 1.5 billion euros for CCFT measures. It's a mechanism for the price difference, and Germany is also going to convert or newly build hydrogen pipelines, which is about more than 1,800 kilometers by 2027 and 2028. And if you look at the US was actually a catalyst for such policies in the EU. IRA was passed in the US, and depending on life cycle emissions, they will have 4 different tiers to limit the CO2 emissions below 4 kg per 1 kg of hydrogen. That means that they can provide tax credit up to $3 per 1 kilo of hydrogen production. And in the US, you can also choose investment tax credit. This is 30% of the capex. So they have a production tax credit and investment tax credit, and depending on the capacity factor, you can decide between the two. And alternatively, blue hydrogen can also use tax credit for CCS, $85 per 1 ton of CO2. So you can choose some capture technology like ATR technology. 99% of capturing is possible with this new technology. Then they can choose between these different tax credits, and these credits are able to be it's possible to trade these credits. So when these credits were first announced, the EU was quite strongly reacted to it, because they can produce blue hydrogen at $1.7. So it means with this credit, the price will go lower. And if you look at their roadmap, with technological advancement, they are moving toward $1. So it's a huge credit, and they are trying to push down the price of clean hydrogen to the level of gray hydrogen. So many companies are trying to produce in the US. There are promised projects. For blue, 60 to 70%, for green 20-30%. The projects have been, have a plan, detailed plan, and Korea is also trying to participate in this. ExxonMobil or other number one energy companies working together. And this spring, under the European Green Deal Industrial Plan, they announced a new policy, EHB, that's to support imported hydrogen. So firstly, they are going to spend 800 million euros for first trial, and the disclosed selling price is 4 euros per 1 kilogram H2 for the fixed premium. And they will also have green premium auction with this platform, which and actually in Germany they have Hindco under HT Global for this dual auction system, and this is considered as one of the factors for this. So there is an agreement to utilize H2 global mechanism. So there will be a conference on the 31st of October where many important people will participate from Germany, and there the vice president of H2 Global will participate, and I think we can participate in this conference. One of our deputy director from the ministry had a lot of questions actually about this. So I think including him, more people can come to this conference. So they have already conducted the first auction and selecting project. They are using 900 million euros, and ammonia, methane, and airline oil are subject to this. They are doing auction on this, and last year 3.5 billion euros were additionally secured for the next round of bidding. And if you look at the case in Japan, recently they updated their basic strategy for hydrogen. I think things are similar with us. They are using fuel mix technology, like using ammonia and hydrogen. I think Japan is quite open when it comes to mixed fuel. I think depending on the strike price and the reference price, that can be selling price or reference price, but this will be done in a way to compensate for the difference. As you can see here, like 6 to 8 trillion yen is secured for this auction system. And they are going to secure this budget with Green GX. So in conclusion, hydrogen generation price is a source of concern for us. I can feel it. But every time I meet suppliers from other countries, they say there are many public organizations that is backing the Korean market It's quite unique when it comes to the Korean market. So they say you need to sell at a low price. In the US, it's a big hurdle, long-term contract. They say they will allow us to have long-term contract. Instead, you have to sell at a low price. That's what they say. So when it comes to ETS price, we are not at the right level. So these are supported by subsidies, which can be a big burden. So I'm working quite hard to resolve that, and I expect your strong cooperation. Thank you.